everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm talking about the new releases for October, November, and December. So today is actually going to be a little bit shorter than the last couple releases videos I have talked about, mostly because I only have about half the number that I had last time. Don't get me wrong, I still have 30 titles that I want to talk about, but I do know that publishing slows down near the end of the year, most likely to get books out and on the shelves ready for Christmas and that kind of stuff. So you don't really get a lot of books published near the end of November, December, that kind of thing. But like I said, I still have 30 titles I definitely want to talk about. These are books that I am specifically very interested in. We have a wide range of ages and genres, and so we're going to jump right on into it because, like I said, we still have 30 titles. Half of what I have been doing the last couple times we've done this video, but that's still quite a bit for one video. So the first one I want to talk about is coming out on October 4th, and that is going to be Mouthful of Ashes by Brianna Morgan. First of all, this cover is very, very intriguing to me. Like, I definitely want to know more about this. And it says, mourning the sudden loss of her sister, Callie Danoff wants nothing more than to embrace a fresh start in a new town, leaving the haunting memories of her sister's death behind. But when her brother Ramsey drags her to a spooky boardwalk, the two become entangled with a local vampire gang and its enigmatic leader, Elijah. Callie refuses to accept their existence until she and her brother unknowingly ingest vampire blood. Now they only have 3 days before they turn into vampires themselves. With her carefree summer thwarted, Callie must trust a group she barely knows in order to save her family. Moving one day later to October 5th, I have 9 titles coming out on this day. The first one is When Night Breaks by Janella Angelis. This is the sequel to Where Dreams Descend, which I actually read earlier this year. Absolutely freaking loved, phenomenal. So I'm not going to get into the summary of this one because it might be spoilery, but for that one, it is definitely a mixture of, I think they said Phantom of the Opera, Moulin Rouge, and there is definitely magic in here. Basically, we have a magical magician competition. There is some romance that goes on as well, and it was just one of those things that I read really early on this year. It has definitely stuck with me, and I need this sequel / finale because it is a duology. So this is the last book in that series. I need it. Then we have The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. When single mother Liv is commissioned to paint a mural in a 100-year-old lighthouse on a remote Scottish island, it's an opportunity to start over with her 3 daughters, Luna, Sapphire, and Clover. When 2 of her daughters go missing, she's frantic. She learns that the cave beneath the lighthouse was once a prison for women accused of witchcraft. The locals warn her about wildlings, supernatural beings who mimic human children, created by witches for revenge. Liv is told wildlings are dangerous and must be killed. 22 years later, Luna has been searching for her missing sisters and mother. When she receives a call about her youngest sister, Clover, she's initially ecstatic. Clover is the sister she remembers, except she's still 7 years old, the age she was when she vanished. Luna is worried Clover is a wildling. Luna has few memories of her time on the island, but she'll have to return to find the truth of what happened to her family, but she doesn't realize just how much the truth will change her. Then we also have Boys Run the Riot Volume 3 by Keito Gaku. So this is a series that has been ongoing this year so far. The first 2 volumes are out. I've read the first one, have not read the second one yet. However, it is on my 30 and 30 manga challenge TBR, which I'm doing this month, so I will read it by the end of the month. But I've absolutely loved the first volume so far. It is only a 4-volume manga series, so this is the 3rd out of 4 books that is going to be coming out, and it follows a trans teen in high school trying to figure out his identity when he still has to dress and present as a girl in school. And so he and a new friend are going to start a clothing line, a fashion clothing line, and like I told you, I absolutely love the first one. Definitely need to continue in this series. Next, we have Cackle by Rachel Harrison. Can you tell we're getting into the spooky season? Because a lot of the books that I have on this list are going to be sort of spooky in some way. All her life, Annie has played it nice and safe. After being unceremoniously dumped by her longtime boyfriend, Annie seeks a fresh start. She accepts a teaching position that moves her from Manhattan to a small village upstate. She's stunned by how perfect and picturesque the town is. The people are all friendly and warm. Her new apartment is dreamy too, minus the oddly persistent spider infestation. Then Annie meets Sophie. Beautiful, charming, magnetic Sophie who takes a special interest in Annie, who wants to be her friend. More importantly, she wants Annie to stop apologizing and start living for herself. That's how Sophie lives. Annie can't help but gravitate toward the self-possessed Sophie, wanting to spend more and more time with her, despite the fact that the rest of the town folks seem a little afraid of her. And okay, there are some things. Sophie's appearance is uncanny and ageless, her mansion in the middle of the woods seems a little unearthly, and she does seem to wield a certain power. But she couldn't be, could she? Then we have A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. And this is supposed to be a reimagining of Sleeping Beauty. It's Zinnia Gray's 21st birthday, which is extra special because it's the last birthday she'll ever have. When she was young, an industrial accident left Zinnia with a rare condition. Not much is known about her illness, just that no one has lived past 21. Her best friend Charm is intent on making Zinnia's last birthday special with a full Sleeping Beauty experience, complete with a tower and a spinning wheel. But when Zinnia pricks her finger, something strange and unexpected happens, and she finds herself falling through worlds with another Sleeping Beauty, just as desperate to escape her fate. Next, we have My Love Mix-Up Volume 1 by Wataru Hinekure. So this will be a brand new manga series that I'm very excited about. The art style, at least on the cover so far, looks amazing. And it says, in this warm-hearted romantic comedy, mistaken identity leads to a blossoming romance between two boys. Aoki has a crush on Hashimoto, the girl in the seat next to him in class, but he despairs when he borrows her eraser and sees she's written the name of another boy, Ida, on it. To make matters more confusing, Ida sees Aoki holding that very eraser and thinks Aoki has a crush on him. Next is Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan, and this is going to be a modern take on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Anna Dakar is a freshman at Harding Pencroft Academy, a 5-year high school that graduates the best marine scientists, naval warriors, navigators, and underwater explorers in the world. Anna's parents died while on a scientific expedition 2 years ago, and the only family she's got left is her older brother Dev, also a student at HP. Anna's freshman year culminates with the class's weekend trial at sea, the details of which have been kept secret. She only hopes she has what it'll take to succeed. All her worries are blown out of the water when, on the bus ride to the ship, Anna and her schoolmates witness a terrible tragedy that will change the trajectory of their lives. But wait, there's more. The professor accompanying them informs Anna that their rival school, Land Institute, and Harding Pencroft have been fighting a Cold War for 150 years. Now that Cold War has been turned into a full broil, and the freshmen are in danger of becoming fish food. In a race against deadly enemies, Anna will make amazing friends and astounding discoveries about her heritage as she puts her leadership skills to the test for the first time. Next is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. Practical, unassuming Jane Shoringfield has done the calculations and decided that the most secure path forward is this: a husband in a marriage of convenience who will allow her to remain independent and occupied with meaningful work. Her first choice, the dashing but reclusive Dr. Augustine Lawrence, agrees to her proposal with only one condition: that she must never visit Lindridge Hall, his crumbling family manor outside of town. Yet, on their wedding night, an accident strands her at his door in a pitch-black rainstorm, and she finds him changed. Gone is the bold, courageous surgeon, and in his place is a terrified, paranoid man, one who cannot tell reality from nightmare, and fears Jane is an apparition come to haunt him. By morning, Augustine is himself again, but Jane knows something is deeply wrong at Lindridge Hall, and with the man she has so hastily bound her safety to. And then last for this date is Dust and Grim by Chuck Wendig. 13-year-old Molly doesn't know how she got the short end of the stick, being raised by her neglectful father, while Dustin, the older brother she's never met, got their mother and the keys to the family estate. But now the siblings are both orphaned, she's come home for her inheritance, and if Dustin won't welcome her into the family business, then she'll happily take her half in cash. There's just one problem. The family business is a mortuary for monsters, and Molly's not sure she's ready to deal with mysterious doors, talking wolves, a rogue devourer of magic, and a secret cemetery. It's going to take all of Dustin's stuffy supernatural knowledge and Molly's most heroic cosplay, plus a little help from non-human friends, for the siblings to figure it out and save the day. If only they can get along for 5 minutes. And I've read some books by Chuck Wendig before, but this is going to be his middle grade debut, so I'm very curious how his work translates for a younger audience. Moving into October 12th, I have one book for this date, and it is going to be Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Tan. This is going to be a debut inspired by Chinese mythology. In an empire on the brink of war, An is no one, with no past and no family. Altan is a lost heir, his future stolen away as a child. When they meet, Altan sees in An a path to reclaiming the throne. An sees a way to finally unlock her past and understand her arcane magical abilities. But they may have to pay a far deadlier price than either could have imagined. Moving to October 19th, I have 4 titles for this day. The first is Well Matched by Jen DeLuca. This is the 3rd novel in a companion series of romance novels, all based on a Renaissance festival. So the first one was Well Met, the second was Well Played, and this one is Well Matched. So again, I don't want to get in too much to the actual summary because this is the 3rd book. They're all romances though, happily ever after, you know what I'm talking about. But this is going to follow one of the other main characters' sisters and one of the guys that works at the Renaissance Festival. And it looks like this one is going to have a fake dating trope. I am very, very excited for this. I absolutely loved the first 2 books in this series, and so yes, please. The next one is going to be Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Kah, and this is going to be a haunted house tale with Japanese folklore. A Heian-era mansion stands abandoned, its foundations resting on the bones of a bride, and its walls packed with the remains of the girls sacrificed to keep her company. It's the perfect wedding venue for a group of thrill-seeking friends, but a night of food, drinks, and games quickly spirals into a nightmare, for lurking in the shadows is the ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt. Then we also have Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. Once upon a time, there was a horrible girl. Vanya Schmidt knows that no gift is freely given, not even a mother's love, and she's on the hook for one hell of a debt. Vanya, the adopted goddaughter of Death and Fortune, was Princess Giselle's dutiful servant up until a year ago. That was when Vanya's otherworldly mothers demanded a terrible price for their care, and Vanya decided to steal her future back, by stealing Giselle's life for herself. The real Giselle is left a penniless nobody, while Vanya uses an enchanted string of pearls to take her place. Now Vanya leads a lonely but lucrative double life as princess and jewel thief, charming nobility while emptying their coffers to fund her great escape. Then, one heist away from freedom, Vanya crosses the wrong god and is cursed to an untimely end, turning into jewels stone by stone for her greed. Vanya has just 2 weeks to figure out how to break her curse and make her getaway, and with a feral guardian half-god, Giselle's sinister fiancé, and an overeager junior detective on Vanya's tail, she'll have to pull the biggest grift yet to save her own life. And then the last one for this date is City of Shattered Light by Claire Wynn. As heiress to a powerful tech empire, 17-year-old Asa Almeida strives to prove she's more than her manipulative father's shadow. But when he uploads her rebellious sister's mind to an experimental brain, Asa will do anything to save her sister from reprogramming, including fleeing her predetermined future with her sister's digitized mind in tow. With a bounty on her head and a rogue AI hunting her, Asa's getaway ship crash lands in the worst possible place, the neon-drenched outlaw paradise Requiem. Gunslinging smuggler Riven Hawthorne is determined to claw her way up Requiem's underworld hierarchy. A runaway rich girl is exactly the bounty Riven needs, until a nasty computer virus spreads in Asa's wake, causing a citywide blackout and tech quarantine. To get the payout for Asa and save Requiem from the monster in its circuits, Riven must team up with her captive. Riven breaks skulls the way Asa breaks circuits, but their opponent is unlike anything they've ever seen. The AI exploits the girl's darkest memories and deepest secrets, threatening to shatter the fragile alliance they're both depending on. As one of Requiem's 154-hour nights grows darker, the girls must decide whether to fend for themselves or fight for each other before Riven's city and Asa's sister are snuffed out forever. Then, moving into October 26th, I have 3 titles coming out on this day. The first is Another Kind by Trevor Bream. This is going to be a middle grade graphic novel. Another Kind is not your average monster story. Tucked away in a government facility nicknamed the Playroom, 6 not quite human kids learn to control their strange and unpredictable abilities. Life is good, or safe at least, hidden from the prying eyes of a judgmental world. That is, until a security breach forces them out of their home and into the path of the Collector, a mysterious being with leech-like powers. Can the group band together to thwart the Collector's devious plan, or will they wind up the newest addition to his collection? Then we have All the Feels by Olivia Dade. This is going to be a sequel/companion novel to Spoiler Alert, which again, I absolutely loved. I read this at the end of last year. Like, seriously, loved it so, so much. And I don't want to get into too much of the summary of this one because it is going to follow side characters from the first book, but it is going to follow the same sort of thing as the first book in the fact that we are having a romance, and it is going to deal with people that are like in the celebrity type of sphere, in the TV show type of sphere, and so I'm very, very excited for this one. And then we also have From the Far Light of Heaven by Jade Thompson. The colony ship Ragtime docks in the Lagos system, having traveled light years to bring 1,000 sleeping souls to a new home among the stars. But when first mate Michelle Campion rouses, she discovers some of the sleepers will never wake. Answering Campion's distress call, investigator Rashid Finn is tasked with finding out who is responsible for these deaths. Soon, a sinister mystery unfolds aboard the gigantic vessel, one that will have repercussions for the entire system, from the scheming politicians of Lagos Station to the colony planet Bloodroot, to other far-flung systems, and indeed to Earth itself. Then there is one book coming out on October 28th, which is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar, and this is going to be a retelling of The Nutcracker. There's nothing Marietta Stell loves more than ballet, but after Christmas her dreams will be over as she is obligated to take her place in Edwardian society. While she is chafing against such suffocating traditions, a mysterious man purchases the neighboring townhouse. Dr. Drosselmeyer is a charming but calculating figure who wins over the rest of the Stell family with his enchanting toys and wondrous mechanisms. When Drosselmeyer constructs an elaborate set for Marietta's final ballet performance, she discovers it carries a magic all of its own. On the stroke of midnight on Christmas Eve, she is transported to a snowy forest where she encounters danger at every turn. Ice giants, shadow goblins, and the shrieking mist all lurk amidst the firs and frozen waterfalls and ice cliffs. After being rescued by the butterscotch-eyed captain of the King's Guard, she is escorted to the frozen sugar palace. At once, Marietta is enchanted by this glittering world of glamorous gowns, gingerbread houses, miniature reindeer, and the most delicious confectionery. But all is not as it seems, and Marietta is soon trapped in the sumptuous palace by the sadistic King Gellum, who claims her as his own. She is confined to a gilded prison with his other pets, Delara, whose words are as sharp as her teeth, and Pirlipata, a princess from another land. Marietta must forge an alliance with the two women to carve a way free from this sugar-coated but treacherous world and back home to follow her dreams. Yet, in a hedonistic world brimming with rebellion and a forbidden romance that risks everything, such a path will never be easy. Moving into November, on November 2nd, there are 3 titles. The first is A Marvellous Light by Freya Marsky. Robin Blythe has more than enough bother in his life. He's struggling to be a good older brother, a responsible employer, and the harried baronet of a seat gutted by his late parents' excesses. When an administrative mistake sees him named the civil service liaison to a hidden magical society, he discovers what's been operating beneath the unextraordinary reality he's always known. Now Robin must contend with the beauty and danger of magic, an excruciating deadly curse, and the alarming visions of the future that come with it. Not to mention Edwin Corsi, his cold and prickly counterpart in the magical bureaucracy, who clearly wishes Robin were anyone and anywhere else. Robin's predecessor has disappeared, and the mystery of what happened to him reveals unsettling truths about the very oldest stories they've been told about the land they live on and what binds it. Thrown together and facing unexpected dangers, Robin and Edwin discover a plot that threatens every magician in the British Isles, and a secret that more than one person has already died to keep. Then we have Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. This one is coming from Webtoons, so I've actually already read a whole lot of this one, probably what this whole first volume is. It is a Hades and Persephone Greek mythology retelling. It is absolutely gorgeous artwork. I'm not even going to read the summary because like I know what this is about and I know you should read it. If you have not already read it, read it. It is so, so good, and I just need a physical copy in my hands. And then we also have The Donut Trap by Julie Tew. Jasmine Tran has landed herself behind bars. Maple bars, that is. With no boyfriend or job prospects, Jasmine returns home to work at her parents' donut shop. Jasmine quickly loses herself in a cynical routine of donuts, Netflix, and sleep. She wants to break free from her daily grind, but when a hike in rent threatens the survival of their shop, her parents rely on her more than ever. Help comes in the form of an old colleague's crush, Alex Lai. Not only is he successful and easy on the eyes to her parents' delight, he's also Chinese. He's everything she should wish for, until a disastrous dinner reveals Alex isn't as perfect as she thinks. Worse, he doesn't think she's perfect either. With both sets of parents against their relationship, a family legacy about to shut down, and the reappearance of an old high school flame, Jasmine must scheme to find a solution that satisfies her family's expectations and can get her out of the donut trap once and for all. And then we have 3 books coming out on November 9th. The first one is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen, and this is going to be inspired by West African mythology. A way to survive, a way to serve, a way to save. Simi prayed to the gods once. Now she serves them as Mami Wada, a mermaid, collecting the souls of those who die at sea and blessing their journeys back home. But when a living boy is thrown overboard, Simi does the unthinkable. She saves his life, going against an ancient decree, and punishment awaits those who dare to defy it. To protect the other Mami Wada, Simi must journey to the Supreme Creator to make amends. But something is amiss. There's the boy she rescued, who knows more than he should, and something is shadowing Simi, something that would rather see her fail. Danger lurks at every turn, and as Simi draws closer, she must brave vengeful gods, treacherous lands, and legendary creatures, because if she doesn't, then she risks not only the fate of all Mami Wada, but also the world as she knows it. And then there's also Falls Boys by Penelope Douglas. This does not actually have a full cover or synopsis yet, but I saw something that made me want to read this, and I actually don't know what it was because I literally do not know anything about this book. But we're putting it here because it's on my want to read list on Goodreads. And then we also have Aurora's End by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. This should be the 3rd and final book in the Aurora cycle series, which means I cannot get into it whatsoever. But I absolutely loved the first 2 books, and the first book of this series follows a crew that has graduated from whatever academy that they have here that is to like fly and pilot spaceships. One of them is like the best in his year, but he missed the graduation ceremony because he was saving a girl from a temporal anomaly from a spaceship that has disappeared for like hundreds of years. And it goes from there. I absolutely, like I said before, love this series because of all the different characters that we have here, all the different races and aliens that we have, and it's just a wild ride. These books remind me of like a mix of like Firefly and Star Trek, and they were just so much fun, so I definitely need to read this one. Then one book is coming out on November 16th. Which is Elder Race by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce that. But yeah. Tchaikovsky.
Like the musician.
Sure. Yeah, Adrian Tchaikovsky. And this one says, Liness is the lowly 4th daughter of the queen and always getting in the way, but a demon is terrorizing the land, and now she's an adult, albeit barely, and although she still gets in the way, she understands that the only way to save her people is to invoke the pact between her family and the elder sorcerer who has inhabited the local tower for as long as her people have lived here, though none in living memory has approached it. That was one sentence. One whole sentence. But Elder Near isn't a sorcerer, and he is forbidden to help, for his knowledge of science tells him the threat cannot possibly be a demon. I don't know much else. It looks very intriguing, although I'm a little bit scared by how long that one sentence was. And then 2 books are coming out on November 30th. The first one is the new cover of Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. Now, this book has been out for a while. It is self-published sci-fi romance. However, this has actually gotten picked up by Berkeley, which is why we have a new cover here, for at least the first 2 books so far in this series. I absolutely love this series. The first book I gave 4 stars. Each subsequent book that I've read so far has gotten 4.5 or 5 stars from me. Like, I just absolutely love this series, and I do think this cover fits a little bit better for what this series is. I had put off trying the Planet Barbarians for a while, like until earlier this year, because of the original covers. The original covers make this seem much more like erotica, but it is actually sci-fi romance. There is a sci-fi plot, and there is romance in here. There is sexy times, steamy times, but it is not like the wholly main focus, and so I do think these new covers fit better. I am very excited for them. I'm definitely going to buy them. And yeah, this series, like I said, is sci-fi romance. It follows a group of women who have been abducted by aliens from Earth, and those aliens are not nice. There is some trigger warning and content warning stuff for abuse, forced abortion, rape, that kind of stuff. And then they crash land into an ice planet and have to survive there, where they do end up meeting the big blue aliens as well. So there are some hard topics in the book. It is sort of a survival story as well, but again, like I said, there is romance and everything like that. I absolutely love it. I need the new cover. And then we also have Spell Sweeper by Lee Edward Fody. Most students at Dragonsong Academy spend their days practicing spells and wielding wands, but after flunking her 6th grade standardized tests, Kara Moon is on the fast track to becoming a MOP, aka Magical Occurrence Purger. See, when a real wizard casts a spell, it leaves behind a residue called spell dust, which can be dangerous if not disposed of properly. It's a MOP's job to clean up the mess, and no one makes more of a mess than Dragonsong Academy's star student Harley. Widely believed to be the chosen one who's destined to save the magical world, she makes magic look easy, so of course she's Kara's sworn nemesis. Or she would be if she even knew Kara existed. But then Harley's spells begin to leave behind something far worse than spell dust. Rifts in the fabric of magic itself. Soon Kara begins to suspect that the so-called chosen one isn't going to save the world, she's going to destroy it. It will take more than magic to clean up a mess this big. Fortunately, messes are kind of Kara's thing. Then there is one book coming out on December 21st, which is Deserter by Junji Ito. So this is going to be a new horror manga short story collection. I don't know much about it. The cover is disgusting, which I do expect from Junji Ito stuff, and I'm just very excited for it. And then finally, there is one book coming out on December 28th, which is Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. So this is the sequel, finally, to What If It's Us, which I read the year it came out, absolutely loved it, except for the ending, because it left it too open-ended. It wasn't what I wanted from the ending, but now we are having a sequel. So since this is a sequel, I'm not going to explain the summary of this book, but I will talk about the previous book, which is about two boys who have a meet cute at the post office. One of them is trying to return a box of his ex's things when he meets the other boy, and things go from there. We have friendship, we have a little bit of romance, and I really liked the development of the characters, but like I said, I did not exactly like the ending of the book, so I do think a sequel was needed, and I'm very, very excited for it. And that is everything, all 30 books that I'm very excited for in the last 3 months of 2021. Who can really believe that we're getting to the last 3 months of 2021? Like, this year has gone by so quickly, it feels like. But yeah, that is everything. I will be continuing doing this into next year as well, but I'm also curious, what books are you excited for at the end of the year? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos up Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!